Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, today, Black Hawk Down, Operation Gothic Serpent. It's the big Black Hawk, one you've been waiting for from ICM, their kit 48363. And this of course is about the Mogadishu Operation Gothic Serpent, and of course many of you will have seen the movie, and actually this helicopter that's featured is unfortunately the one that is Black Hawk Down and crashed obviously in the streets of Mogadishu, and then Mohammed Farah Aidid's forces, these rebel forces, and yeah, they stormed all over the helicopter, and some of the crew, the pilot and co-pilot did not survive unfortunately, but some of the guys on board did get out, and then they had to mount an operation to try and rescue them, which involved an amazing sort of story. I talk about against all odds, because they were surrounded by these enemy forces. They were in a very built-up urban environment, and ultimately they actually they had UN forces, many Pakistani forces actually, that were based at the football stadium, and they drove in a load of Humvees and armoured vehicles from the football stadium, APCs and Humvees, with the Pakistani troops in support, and the Americans drove in on the road had to go through this, running the gauntlet. Quite an amazing operation, of course. If any of you have seen the movie, it's very, very dramatic, all based on true events, of course. Stars everybody: Jason Isaacs, it's got Ewan McGregor, Orlando Bloom, Tom Hardy, Tom Sizemore, you've got Josh Hartnett, Eric Bana. Lots of Hollywood stars are in this film, and it's very much worth seeing. Anyway, back to the model. So, Black Hawk Down. So it's basically got all the options that you would expect. We just zoom it in here. You've got here the full sort of squad of choppers from the squadrons that went in. Super 61 sadly is the one that crashed, but that is the Black Hawk Down. And you got Super 62 Rude Dude, Thunderstruck, sadly was Thunderstruck quite literally. A bit of an inappropriate, unfortunate name, isn't it? Then you've got the Grim Reaper, Super 63, Super 64 is Venom. By the way, if you notice as well as we go through, some of them have got the radar nose, and some of them haven't. And both variants are in the kit, of course. Super 66 is Gunslinger. And then finally you've got Super 68 Razor's Edge. Why don't we take a look now? I have to say, first up, I'm not probably going to I'm not going to get this kit all out and review the full plastic, because with the exception of these changes on the nose, the radar, we've seen several variants, a bit like the Marauder, we have seen several variants from ICM. And I've reviewed it a number of times, so I'm going to really focus on the markings. I think it'll be more interesting for us, and I'll put in a link to the other reviews I've done, so if you want to see it in more detail, the plastic, then we shall do that. It says on the side, very interestingly, it's the MH-60L helicopter, the early version as used in Operation Gothic Serpent in October of 1993. Such a long time ago, isn't it? It's 32 years ago. Incredible. Build the helicopter in 3 variants with FLIR and nose radar, with FLIR only, or with additional internal fuel tank. Oh, okay. Features... Was that on the side? Did we actually notice that? Internal fuel tank, can you see that? Can't really tell from the images on the side which that would be. I'm sure it'll make it clear for us. Anyway, it goes on to say features precise geometry matching real helicopter specifications. Includes colour schemes and decals for 6 different helicopter markings, and has 310 parts. Right, let's have a look. I'm going to be very, very careful with this, because this is... I'm really tempted. I like that Black Hawk Down film. I want to keep this. It's for me. It was sent to me very kindly by ICM. But however, I am probably going to put this into the Ukraine auction for charity. We're doing an auction, completely 100% of the proceeds are going to charity. Any postage is on top of any bidding, by the way, and there's nothing being added to the postage, and nothing comes to me, not a penny. I'm giving up about 500 quid with the kit, so I'm making quite a good contribution. Thank you very much. Just so you know what you're getting into if you're interested. So, I mean, the retail price on this is around about the £50-55 mark. But please, if you're bidding for it, please be generous. We're raising money for 2 Ukraine charities. The details to come later. Just finalising that at the moment. But we've got one civilian charity, and the other one is a charity for animals that are displaced, dogs and cats in particular, but all sorts of animals. And yeah, I've seen some videos where there's military action going on. You can see animals, terrified animals, running around like dogs or cats. It's quite heartbreaking, really. So that's what's got me onto bringing the animals into it. I thought they should get some benefit from it as well. I think a lot of you are pet owners, I think you'll understand. So, please support the auction. Please don't think of it as trying to get a cheap kit. That's not really what we're here to do. I'm not suggesting you pay double for it or anything, but be as generous as you feel you can, because it is for a good cause. So don't just think of it as a purchase. Think of it as a purchase plus a small donation. So if I can get, I don't know, 10 to 20%, 25% above the retail price, that would be a brilliant result with most of the items. That would be something I'd like to target if possible. But it's up to you. Nobody's obliged, of course. I'll leave it to the individual to decide really what they want to do. Now, as I mentioned before, if you're outside the UK, it's a bit of a problem because I just have to pass on the postage costs, whatever they are to me. So that could get really expensive, I fear, if you're in America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. Ooh, Africa, South Africa, gonna get pricey, you know. So, as I think Aubrey St John, one of the regular subscribers and viewers, said, I think he said, I'll just give you a donation, small donation, which is fine, you know. Really appreciate that. But it's just that if you want to go the whole hog and have the kit, you can have it. But you know, it could cost, I don't know, £40-50 shipping. Some of these are quite big, you know, so just be aware. Just be aware that may not be for you. I wouldn't blame you for not wanting to go that far. And it's complicated for me as well, so I haven't got any deals with any shippers. I'm not a model shop or anything like that, you know. So probably not the way to go. So I think we'll try and encourage it to be a UK auction. EU, yes, we could probably do. Although I'm not sure again if there's going to be any duty. It's another thing. You can get stung for duty. I've had friends from the channel have given me gifts and I get stung for duty. Nothing to do with the friend. It's just the blooming governments, isn't it? If any old excuse. And that wasn't to do with Brexit before somebody suggested it was completely irrelevant. If it's coming from places like Japan or America, or Canada, it can be very, very tricky. Anyway, oh, okay. It's quite a lot of box and not quite filling the box is the bag. Plenty of it. Now, I say I'm going to be very respectful because one of you will probably be bidding for this. So this is actually an auction item. So I'm going to be even more careful than normal. I'm pretty careful the best of the time. So bear with me. In terms of the chopper, I say I don't think I'm going to open this bag because we've seen it several times now, the Black Hawk. I've done 2 or 3 reviews myself. It's an absolutely stunning kit. And the only differences on this one are, which will be highlighted in the instructions. And it's got that beautiful glasswork as well. The bamboo stick polished glass, it's fantastic, so clear, you know, crystal. And it comes beautifully packed, you know, so I'm very loath to open that one. I think we'll just actually put that back in there because I'm not sure that we need to worry about the only difference being this, really the nose, isn't it? Let's have a look what we've got. Let's start off with the most interesting part of all. So this is full-on Black Hawk down mode now, so put yourself in the mind of the movie and you'll be there. It was a really dangerous mission though, you know, you can sort of smile about it because they made a film. Ridley Scott film, by the way, one of his better ones because he's done some absolutely brilliant films. He's done some absolute turkeys as well recently, so he's not always good. I don't know why. He seems to not always be, I don't know, I'm not going to comment on that, but he seems to have lost his form that he wants, you know, he used to touch films like Blade Runner and Alien and Gladiator, fantastic stuff, you know. Even his early stuff like the Duelists, fantastic film. These days he's made, I won't name them, but some absolute Complete turkeys. Anyway, enough of that. Thunderstruck, this is the one that sadly went down. That was Black Hawk Down itself, Super 61. And you've got the Grim Reaper here, Gunslinger. You've got Venom over here, Venom. Razor's Edge. Do like their artwork, don't they? Rude Dude. They're good, aren't they? What's that one? What's that one say? I'm having a bit of trouble with the old the magnification. Hold on a second. I'm just struggling ever so slightly. Let's put that in the background for you so you know what we're into here. Just bear with me a second. Because I just need to look at this with the big glasses on. Elvis? Some very strange markings here. Well, what's that say? Something Elvis. I can't quite make it out. You can probably see it better if I zoom you in. The one that's in the white, just to the right of Thunderstruck, I'm looking at this one. It says something Elvis. There. Yeah. Hoping you get a better quality image than I'm getting. Anyway, but yeah, you got all the relevant instrument panels. It's got. It seems to have a lot of. Sorry, I'm just looking at the screens. The TFT screens look quite like the later model. Is it? I'm not an expert on Black Hawks, but I do recall that the earlier models were more analog. I think they went sort of all analog, didn't they, in the recent models? But track 13 minutes play. So there's all sorts of data there, and stencils for your blades and all sorts. Gosh, danger, keep away. That's the Jet Blast. Okay, very, very nice decals indeed, I've got to say. Just can't find any fault with them at all. They look really nice. And I'm glad they brought this out, because it's the one that everybody's been waiting for, isn't it? So this I suspect will be the last of their... Could be wrong, but I think it's going to be the last of the Black Hawk editions, because they've done 4 now. They've done 2 American ones, Ukrainian one, and now this, I think. Super, right, that's very nice. We'll just have a quick look at the instructions then, because as I say, we have seen it before. Just really want to focus on what's different on this aircraft. Okay, so, zoom in. So, the early part of the instructions is very much the same as they usually are. But let's have a little read. Actually, now thinking about it, I forgot they give quite a nice bit of history. One of the things I like about ICM, they make the effort, don't they, to do some research. Now, many of you will recently have seen me on my live show when I had Jason was my guest from Model Kit Stuff, and we got talking about this, and he raised a couple of interesting points about Revell. Excuse me. And apparently Revell said they didn't put detail on the kits anymore. They didn't put any history because it took a lot of time. And this had us quite a few of our bloods boiling collectively, I think, because it was like, I made the comment that said, yeah, it takes me a lot of time as well, and you, and you, and you. So instead of, one person doing it and printing it on the instructions, we have to have every modeller go and do the same research over and over and over and over and over every time the model is bought. It's so lazy, isn't it? And it's so cheeky, actually. And this is something that we've complained about with people like Border. And Ryefield Models, another one. There's quite a few that are guilty of this. Just not bothering to do anything in terms of even the basic research. And Jason made the point, which I totally agree with him. And he was saying, well, if you can't trust them to be bothered to do that research, what research have they done? Because they must already have a pretty good idea about what the subject is. Enough to write what ICM do, a couple of paragraphs is all they do. It's enough, it's enough to give us a little bit of a flavour for the history of the aircraft or whatever it is. Are they really saying, this just makes me not want to buy Revell. And as he was saying, they've got Luke Slaney Hewitt now working from the former researcher from Airfix. He's now product manager. And I'm hoping this sort of nonsense, quite frankly, stops, because that's not helping them. we've had a situation where they can't be bothered. I know I'm going for a rant on that, but they can't be bothered to do proper box. They can't be bothered to do proper instructional. I mean, their actual instructions in terms of clarity are usually fairly reasonable, but this business about trying to drop things, it's like, oh, the Chinese aren't doing it, we won't do it. No, I'll drop you. I'll tell you that now. In terms of purchases, I'm talking about. I mean, I review a lot of kits from friends and subscribers of the channel. But some of those kits I won't buy with my own money because they can't be bothered to do these things, and it gets my blood boiling. And you know who those companies are: Border, Rifle, and Revell's now on the list. Come on, that's just not good enough. ICM do it. They're in the middle of a war and they can manage to find the time. Come on. Anyway, rant over. Right, so it said. I went off on one there, didn't I? Oh, it just annoyed me, I didn't know this, and Jason was like shaking his head in disgust, and I was like, I don't believe I'm hearing. Really? God, they're asking for another reason not to buy their product. Why would a company do this? And it's the wrong thing to say. Oh, it takes a lot of time. It takes about half an hour. I come on to this channel and I do kit reviews and I do a bit of history. And for the kit reviews, when I quote historical data, the ones where I've gone into a bit more detail, it's no more than an hour's work. Usually a lot less than that. Come on. You're telling me Revell can't afford for somebody to sit there on Wikipedia? Come on. Out of here. Away with you. You're just asking to lose your business the way you're going. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Revell, stop that. Change immediately because your reputation's in tatters these days. There's people in Germany keep popping up to defend Revell. They're so much better. Somebody said last week to me, better than Airfix. Okay, and I wrote back and said, you clearly haven't tried the new Airfix, some of the most recent Airfix kits. Still better than Airfix. No, they're not. Go away. But don't get me wrong, I'm not against them for any reason other than get your act together. You've got Luke there now. Hopefully they'll get other people that are like-minded like him. Just get your act together. Never mind about trying to be the worst and copy the worst. ICM is a company, along with many others in Ukraine, that are in the middle of a horrendous war, and they can do a very professional, competent job of it. Revell has no excuses whatsoever. I don't want to hear another word on that subject. Right, anyway. Back to the Black Hawk from ICM. Sorry about that. Sorry, ICM. But I was just using you to beat them over the head because they deserve it, actually, don't they? Revell is shameful sometimes, just shocking. They try to get away with everything if they can. Yeah, shameful, misrepresenting things. I'm still ranting on. Misrepresenting things, being idle, not doing proper boxes, and so on and so forth. Come on, it's the 21st century. It's not 1993 anymore, Revell. Pull yourself together. Pathetic. And breathe. Yeah. Oh, and bask in the ICM goodness. Still better than Airfix. My eye. Anyway. I hope Airfix appreciate that. I do appreciate them, and that just proves it, doesn't it? I can tell the difference. Come on. So, Black Hawk Down, Operation Gothic Serpent. In 1988, civil war erupted in Somalia, plunging the country into terror and chaos, while combat operations triggered a widespread famine. Early in 1993, negotiations between the warring parties failed to achieve any peace. The American command then developed Operation Gothic Serpent, aimed at capturing General Mohammed Farah Aidid, a prominent anti-government leader. On the 3rd of October 1993, forces attempted to capture two of Aidid's clan leaders in the Somali capital Mogadishu. The operation involved Special Forces Unit supported by 16 helicopters from the 160th Special Operation Aviation Regiment, including the MH-60L Blackhawks. While the initial capture succeeded, the unit faced intense resistance from rebels and local civilians in the city, including women and children. Yeah, there was pictures of children firing RPGs, wasn't there? Two of the Blackhawks were shot down. Now, which was the other one? You'll have to look it up, I can't remember. Resulting in casualties and requiring UN forces in Mogadishu to mount a rescue operation. Now, this is the thing about the US, isn't it? I know there's some problems with the US at the moment, but it's not to do with their forces. They never leave a man behind, leave no man behind, and they really will take more risks to get the people out, you know. And if you see that film, it's very realistic in some of the horrible injuries some of these poor servicemen suffer. It's horrendous. Anyway, yeah, when they're trying to get the guy's artery. Anyway, enough. Keep it a family show. So it says that the engagement would later be described as the most intense close combat that American soldiers have ever experienced since Vietnam. Ultimately, the operation failed to change Somalia's trajectory, and by 1994 both the United Nations and the US forces withdrew from the country. To their detriment, it has to be said. This is where all the pirates come from that capture the ships. Like, you know, Captain Phillips, the famous incident, another film, you know, but anyway. So, yeah, we've got the usual details here. It's got maximum takeoff weight of 12 tonnes, empty weight of 5.6 tonnes. So it can almost carry 6 tonnes. 2 General Electric T700s with 1890 horsepower apiece. Maximum speed 165 miles an hour. It's not bad, is it, for a chopper? What's that, 115 miles an hour, 120 miles? Pretty quick. Anyway. Sorry about going off on the rant there, but you know what I mean. It's just the same old thing, isn't it? We've been here before. You all expect that rant from time to time, I'm sure. And it'll keep on coming as long as these manufacturers don't do their job. ICM, however, do. So, I'm just going to flick through here just very quickly. So you basically build up your cockpit. Zoom in a bit more for this. Build up your cockpit. You got these big instrument control console. Your pilot and your co-pilot seats going in there, and then you've got some stowage spaces behind, and then you're going to build up the sides, which has got some armour plating built into it. Your sides going in there, stowage area, there's some passenger seating areas you're going to build up, putting in your roof, and then basically mounting up the sides of the fuselage. Rear bulkhead going in there, and then you've got the sort of rotor head, the basic mounting point here, and then you're going to bring it all together into the cockpit side. Tail rotor going together there, tail wheel, and this is where it's going to diverge from the norm now. So this is where we have got a little bit of a change, because you've got the bringing in the sides of the fuselage together, and then you have got this FLIR and the radome options, which you've got depicted here. And this is where it differs from the other variants. So you've got the two variants. You've got the standard one, or the radome in the nose, and you've got the rotating pod underneath, which has got the camera in it, infrared camera, and then it sort of goes more back to the norm of the standard Black Hawk. So that's really the only difference with this kit and the others that we've already seen. So I'll sort of flick forward because we have seen this in some detail already. It's a fine kit though, it's a fine kit. People have built it and say it's nice. ICM provides you with some masked templates here. And then here we go. Super 61, that's the one that went down initially. And you have to look it up which the other helicopter was. If any of you are experts on the operation or the film, you might know. And in here we've got Super 62. Excuse me. Rude Dude. 63, the Grim Reaper. Rude Dude is the one that hasn't got the radome on the front. 62. And then you got Venom, Gunslinger, or Razor's Edge. So there you go. That is your excuse me, very dry, hot weather we're having. Just need a quick drink. No champagne today. By the way, those of you who took and have champagne, some of you will have read in the Daily Telegraph and the Guardian and most newspapers in the last week They claim that drinking champagne has got some positive health benefits. Oh well, in that case I want to drink it for every drink, every meal. Apparently it's good for your heart and it's supposed to be better for your blood. And there's elements about the way that the bubbles aerate some of the compounds from the grapes. Very, very positive health benefits. Apparently, can help with cholesterol, I think it was, and high blood pressure also. Well, I need to drink it all the time, obviously. Anyway, so Black Hawk Down then. That, I think, is worth having. Now, I did recall, whether I recall correctly, but I did recall that I thought there was going to be, with ICM, I've got their catalogue to hand here. I'm trying to remember, was there not going to be some figures to go with this separately? Let me just see if I can find them. Because we had the... it's just that we've got the the set, the paint set, which I have down here. Special Forces paint set, yeah? So I'm just wondering if this is to go with the Black Hawk Down. And it does seem to show a bit of a Mogadishu type scene in the background. Now equally this could go with, it's got colours for, you could use it for the Ukrainian forces as well, but it's got such a good variety of them. I'm thinking that they may have got an intention at least to produce some figures, so just bear with me a second and I'm going to see when it says about Black Hawk Down if there's any more figures. Here we go. Where's the helicopter? There it is. I'm just wondering if they're going to produce another set with the figures or whether Brave Ukraine ones. Trying to find it, just bear with me. Chernobyl, something we'll be doing, by the way. Good friend and subscriber Stuart Neal has been pushing me and he said, oh, what to do Chernobyl. So I'm going to be doing a review on the some of those Chernobyl figures that ICM do, because it's going to be it'll be the 40th anniversary of Chernobyl next year, which was a very terrible thing. And I was watching a video recently. Oh, okay, I found the answer to my question. It's to go with this kind of a Delta Force fighter. I found him, here he is, look. And it is in fact Mogadishu. It's a 1/16th figure that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure that's for me, the 1/16th one though. As you can see, 1/16th. There he is. Delta Force fighter from Mogadishu. So they do go together, don't they? I thought perhaps they'd done a set, which they don't seem to have done. Unless I've missed it. Somebody shout at me if I got it wrong. Where there's a Delta Force set in 35th scale or 48th. I don't see that done in the 48th. I don't. No, they do 48th scale figures and they're damn good ones as well. It should be said. But I don't see Mogadishu being in there. So I think that's where we're at. Okay. Anyway, that does answer the question, because it seemed like a very specific figure, doesn't it, on the actual paint set. Maybe you can get from other manufacturers something similar, I don't know. But anyway, there we are. So that's the Black Hawk Down. What do we think of that then? Well, frankly, I know exactly what I'm going to say here, because when I went through it the last time and the time before that, I think we had a similar sort of feeling about it. I mean, the plastic, frankly, is a 10 out of 10. The only reservation I ever have with these helicopters in particular is that ICM have a habit of not giving a huge amount of information and detail with the instructions. So I'm going to give it 9.75 out of 10. Love the theme of it though. I think it's nice that they've got all those different markings available. It's really nice, isn't it? So there we have it. So that's Black Hawk Down helicopter. Thanks very much to ICM for providing the kit. It's good. This particular one, as I say, I've not shown you all the plastic as I've done it before, and I'll put you a link over here so you can see it in more detail. I'm going to have a really good nosy. That's going to be the charity auction for Ukraine, raising money for civilians and for pets, displaced pets that are injured as well. Some heartbreaking stuff on YouTube about it. All good, very good causes. Please support the charity. I'll be doing a warm-up pre-auction video showing you all the items that are going to be in the auction. That will be one of them for sure, and I think that you would really enjoy that, especially if you enjoyed that film. Yeah, that's really cool. It doesn't come with, I must just add this, doesn't come with any figures though, but that's because ICM are doing a separate set. They're going to do a Black Hawk pilot and co-pilot set coming through in a month or two, I would think, quite soon. So be aware. Don't go thinking, I've got no figures. Well, you just buy them separately. So there we go. So 9.75 out of 10 from me. Hope you thought that was interesting. Brought back some memories of watching that movie. Incredibly dramatic and very, edge of your seat stuff that film is, I can tell you. Very realistic, very well done by Ridley Scott, one of his best films. Thanks to all of you for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting. Please stay tuned, and until next time, stay well, stay safe. Keep your eyes and ears open, ready for when I do this information about the auction. Please support it if you can, and we'll see how much we can raise. Who knows? But it'd be nice to send a big fat donation over to these people. So I'm going to split it. 75% is going to go to the civilian charity, and 25% is going to go to the animal charity. And I think that's a nice, worthy way of splitting it to the most needy cases. Until then, thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourself. Stay well. Stay safe. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.